at that period of time I just got that this is the true spirit of brotherhood and the friendship which a cadet goes in a life, and that was a great event which I witnessed that day, and it will be cherished forever and it will stay with me forever.
Once Sir Winston Churchill said, "Success is never final, failure is never fatal. It's the courage that counts." With this thought, I, Cadet Dhara Bhadoria from Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh Directorate, 1 MPCTI Unit Bhopal, invite Senior Under Officer Abhi Jain to our show Candid Talks With Leaders. Being a second-year Army Wing NCC Cadet, I feel immense proud to be a part of such elite youth organization, and I know how much it is matter of pride to be part of RDC and YP camp. The Republic Day camp, as you all know, is held at Delhi camp every year, witnessing events like Republic Day Parade at Rajpath, Guard of Honor, PM Rally and much more. Further, the slot of selected cadets take part in Youth Exchange Program, which is country-to-country exchange of cultures among 11 different countries. The best and the finest example of these camps is sitting right next to us, Senior Under Officer Abhi Jain. And I welcome you again, sir.
Okay, so Dhara, first of all, thank you for inviting me to the show. It's a great pleasure to be here. Yes.
Sir, it's an honor for me to have you as a first ever guest, and seeing those badges and medals and a whole different uniform. It is out of ordinary because many cadets, including me, is aspiring for the same. And I'm really excited to know about your journey spanning from starting of the RDC to YP.
Okay, so the journey of RDC and YP, yeah, that was tremendous. It was a fabulous experience. I learned a lot from it. I experienced a lot more great things whenever you go through these camps. Definitely it has some ups and downs, some thrilling moments, some clumsy, some sticky kind of things. And definitely it happens in that period of time. It's a long period, so yeah, you got to have a lot more new memories. You meet different kind of people. The friends which I made were definitely from different community, from different states. So you got to learn a lot more new things. So definitely I had great more memories with them. Then the environment which I was sharing there, I got to know from that itself that this is one kind of thing which I would definitely love to pursue in my, because the routine, the discipline pattern, the punctuality which you see there, because NCC in RDC and YP we talk about, this is one of the thing which is main and prominent. So yeah, that was one of the thing which I experienced in a great manner. Then you go through the camp, you experience a lot more new things in a format as you meet different higher personalities, you visit different events, you enhance yourself, you meet new people, so you learn from them. This is good things which you cherish afterwards in your life. So yeah, that was the kind of the thing I went through.
So I got to know that you belong from a non-army background, like no one in your family is in the armed forces. So what motivated you to take this journey of NCC?
Okay, so the journey of say about RDC and YP, so yeah, it started in a sense I can say as a normal NCC cadet. Yeah, as you talked about that I am from a non-army background, so definitely it's true thing. I am from a non-defense background, I can say more precisely. So yeah, there is if you are not aware about those things, because being from a non-defense background, you don't have that kind of awareness, that kind of an environment surrounding you. So the disciplinary thing which you learn afterwards, if it had been there, so definitely that thing I was having it, and it would have been a bonus marking for me. But I can say that was a great fortunate thing that I don't have, and I learned from it. I explored a lot new things from the camp, from the procedure itself. So yeah, that was one of the thing. And talking about mainly the motivation for which NCC I came into. So yeah, that came in from my elder brother. He was even an NCC cadet in his school time. So he is 1 year elder to me. So from there itself, seeing his uniform, he used to go for drill practice. So seeing him, I got motivated highly that yeah, I should also even go for that thing. The drill practice he used to go for, and after that when he comes, this sweat, it's something like it's to thrill me. Yeah, this is the thing which I should even go for. And from there itself, I joined NCC in my school days, and that continued in my college time too. And that's how I'm here.
So sir, I know that it's difficult to manage both studies and NCC. So was there any specific routine you followed while being throughout the journey?
Okay, so I would more precisely say there isn't any kind of such routine which you follow. It's just the normal pattern which you go through. If you talk about the procedure itself, so yeah, it's a long procedure. You don't have to work for, say for instance, a day or a week. It requires a hard work of about 4 months or say 5 months or much more. It depends on cadet to cadet. So I went through 4 months a hard practice. So for that, if I say that I followed a particular format, so that wouldn't work, because I followed in a normal manner the things which used to be in a daily life which we go through. Because when we go in a long process, there's always probability there are ups and downs, as I talked about earlier. There's a probability that your mother gets ill in some period of time. So that thing you have to manage. If you go with a normal routine, so that will stuck and the things will get procrastinated. So I used to follow in a normal pattern, just have a workout in a day, then study for the NCC. If since I have to even go through the interview procedure, so I had to enhance my communication, the confidence level, so I need to practice on those things. So this used to be my normal procedure, that these stuffs are to be done in a day and they are to be arranged in a particular format. Say for instance, if I am totally free today, then I have to settle my day in a sense that I can work on with these things and nothing goes procrastinated to next day. So that used to be a normal pattern which I used to follow. The arrangement has to be there in certain manner, and that used to be my only routine. Yeah, that is.
So you talked about procrastination. Many cadets face that issue, that they are not consistent or not focused or not motivated. So what according to you was the biggest factor that kept you motivated and consistent throughout this journey?
Okay, so the things more precisely worked with me was what's the real aim, what you are working for. If you are, say for instance, in NCC or in any other youth organization or any other organization, if you have been part of, so it totally depends on what is your ultimate aim from the things, and the motivation for it drives from there itself. If you think for itself, say for me, the things happened as I joined NCC. So my ultimate aim was how can I make the best out of it. As you told that I am from non-army background, so I wasn't knowing much more things about what could be the most probable thing I could go from this thing from NCC to in higher studies or higher format. So the only thing which I was knowing about that what is NCC all about, a little more basic about the things, that how I can explore a lot more things. Yeah, definitely I was knowing that there are some of the adventure activities, the thrilling things I can go through. So that was one of the things I was knowing, and from there itself I just drawn my aim. Yeah, if I am going through this time, I'm investing my time here, then I should make that thing clear that I'm using the best out of it, I'm gaining the best output from it. And that was the real motivation for me, to just take out the best from it, work hard, because if I'm investing my time, that should be in a profitable manner. So that used to be my real aim, and just I followed that. And there used to be a time where I used to lack focus. So the only thing which draws me back was this thing, what I actually really want. And if I'm exploring that process in a much probable manner, then that's the thing happening and it's working with me. So yeah, that was the only motivation.
So as we are the third batch of UIT RGPV NCC, and we already got a beautiful platform set for us by our seniors, but you were the first batch of UIT RGPV NCC. So how did you all manage to get all those learning by yourself, being the first batch?
Okay, so yeah, definitely I'm the first batch, so it was difficult for me to arrange things, because you aren't knowing anything about the things. Say for instance about the RDC itself. So when I came into NCC in my college, so it's about a 6 months plan that I went through, and when I went through different events which have been organized, so from there itself I got to know, yeah, there is something like RDC, and seeing those batch, as you told about that batches thing, so the same thing I saw from the seniors who were from naval wing. So I went to an event, and from there I talked about to her that what is this batch all about, and how do you got it. So she told me that it's of RDC, and she had been the flag bearer, so that's the medal and the badge she got from there. So from there itself I got to know, yeah, RDC is one of the thing which is the prominent thing in NCC, and I just searched about it, what all events have been there in RDC and how you have to go through, what is the selection procedure. So from there itself I got to know about things, and then I insisted on my batchmates who were there with me. So we made up a team so that we can practice in our whole surrounding itself. So that's how we manage the things. Definitely there are things which are there in setback for us, because you don't have any upper guidance. You have to arrange all things from your own. You have to make the resources available to yourself. You have to visit different places, interact with different personalities, so that you can attain things. And that was the same format which I followed. I used to go to okay, so it's the directorate. So I used to visit there. So I visited one time, and for the DGNCC app inauguration. So for that we were being called upon, and for that we went. So it was about a 2 to 3 day practice, and from there itself we got to know that there are staffs who can work with us and who can guide us. So we interacted with them and we talked to them, sir, can you help us? And from there itself I planned the procedure that I need to work on, because I am taking other time too. So if I am utilizing someone resources, then I had to give my best, because I can give the best output for them too, because it's a guidance for them they are providing to me, so they should even get something. And that's the cherishable thing which you get if someone gets successful from your hard work. So yeah, for that was one of the thing that I went through, and without even some of the setbacks which I was having, overcoming that, I just put on all my hard work, and that's how I made it.
Absolutely. Like, I can understand that it's difficult to learn by yourself rather than learning by someone else, because you were not having anyone to guide or to point out mistakes, like you are not good in drill. Like,
yeah, that is it.
Yeah, like thank you again for setting us a platform for us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure that.
So my next question is that, as a part of discipline training, was there any punishment you got during your camps, like you want to share with us?
Okay, so yeah, definitely there are many punishment which I got, but the one incident which I would like to share, that was little bit funny. So it's of about night incident. So it's saying about 11 or 11:30 p.m. So it's the night, and in RDC we are adhered to a protocol that we have to keep our lights off after 10, and we are not allowed to be awake and just do our stuff. Since the next day itself we had to be in our uniform, the best uniform, because we were having a drill test. So the day priorly, in the night itself, we were preparing those things, the uniform, just pressing it, polishing the shoes. So it was my group of friends who were doing those stuffs, and some were sleeping, they're having their good nap. So that was the thing. So at that period of time we didn't notice that it's late night and we have to be in silent, and we have to just quietly do those things, and we were just chit chatting with that period of time also. And in that period itself, without noticingly, the voice increased to a bit, and it reached to the ears of our staff, and then he came in. So yeah, that was one of the things that he came in. As he came in, and we were just stuck, and we were just surprised that what the thing happened, why he is in our room at late night. And then he told us that why you are making so much noise, and it's the time you have to keep your lights off. And then he gave a kind of a punishment. So the punishment was that we have to carry the can, which was a water can, and we have to carry that and refill it. So it was about 200 meters far from our barrack. So we were 10 cadets who were awake, and the 10 others were sleeping. So he told us just to awake them, all of them, and since they were having their good sleep, and that was the drastic thing we were doing for them. So we told them that you need to get up and we have to do this stuff. So all wake up, and just they were frustrated on us because they were having their good stuff, and it's the hectic day. If you are in RDC or going through the process, the days are hectic. You just strive for sleep, and they were having that, and we woke them up and we took them to refill that can. So definitely we went there, we refilled it, and we followed a particular format. So it was like he was the sir, so he called us that you have to go in a particular marching format, come in a marching format, and the can was a little can, so it has to be carried on the shoulders of all 20 cadets. So there were only 2 cans. The can is probably of size, say 1.5 meter, I can say more precisely. So that small can be carried on, say, about 2 to 3 shoulders, but it has to be carried on 10 shoulders. So that was one of the thing, and you have to refill it and come back in the proper manner. So yeah, that was at that period of time much funnier thing, and yeah, strict also, because it's the night and you are doing that stuff which no one would like to do it. So yeah, that was one of the thing which was little bit funny incident, funny punishment which we got.
Yeah, I can sense it. That's funny, and you have countless stories and countless experiences in your life. So what, according to you, was the most memorable or the most proudest moment that happened during the camp?
Yeah, definitely it was one of the prominent camp which every other cadet wishes to be part of it. So you experience a lot more new things. The memories were even great. Talking about RDC, if I will say, so yeah, the PM rally thing, which was one of the great moment which I can even recognize it. So that was the time when we were marching as a contingent in the PM rally day on the 28th January. It was the PM rally event, and we have to march, and the army band group was marching in front of us. So I heard they were marching with the synchronized format of the tune they used to follow. So that was one of the things that's great, because you are being witnessed by so much other audience. It's all about the whole nation sees that program, and you are representing your directorate there in front of our honorable Prime Minister. The other respected dignitaries have been there. So just you are into that kind of a event, and you are just going with the flow. So that is one of the great event I went through. Then talking about YP, so yeah, it's a totally different thing. So you every day had a scheduled panel, and every day you go through a new event, and you meet new dignitary, you meet the new personalities, you go through a different kind of an event. So yeah, definitely every event of there was memorable. Talking about the main thing which I loved the most was the air show, because I aspired to be part of Air Force. So that was one of the things which was more recognizing for me, because seeing that air show through my naked eyes was just a great thing for me. So yeah, that was one of the great event I could talk about of YP. There was one of the more event which I can say was a great and a good learning for me in my whole journey of RDC and YP. That was the incident which took place in the pre-YP camp. So it was a selection procedure we were going through, and in that we were entitled to go for a 2.5 kilometer run. So that was the part of the pre-YP selection, and me and my buddy, the Mayank best from Jabalpur, the great man. So he is just a true spirit of brotherhood, I can say, which I witnessed that period of time. So we were going through that process, and even in that sense we were competing against each other, because there's a probability that there's only one vacancy, and among you both only one can go. So there's always a spirit that you have to be the first. And in that period of time when we were returning back to our destined position, so it was about 500 meters back we were from the finishing line, and there itself the thing happened that I just gave up, because it was winter day, and the morning is like you have at that period of time cold and cough also. So I was facing that thing, and when I was just completed my 2 kilometers, so I was just fully stuck. Now I can't do it. That was the thing with me. And then he came up that, yeah buddy, you have to do it, and he just took my hand and he dragged me to the finish line, and we completed in a second position. So that was the great thing which happened, and at that period of time I just got that this is the true spirit of brotherhood and the friendship which a cadet goes in a life. And that was a great event which I witnessed that day, and it will be cherished forever, and it will stay with me forever. So that is one of the things.
You know, these kind of friendships are so real, but also so rare in this type of world.
Yeah, definitely that is.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you found your best buddy like that.
Yeah, he will be there with me forever in my life.
And you can't share that type of bond with anyone. Like, it's meant to be with you forever. And so my next question is that when you wear your uniform and you see that Indian flag badge, and what's that inner feeling when you wear it and see and say that yes, I've earned it?
Yeah, it's definitely a proud feeling, because you are wearing one of the things which you had, say for instance, work from your child. Because I'm a sports person, so I always admire to be at a position where I can represent my nation at a certain stage of life. And for that I work from my childhood itself. So I started my sports from saying 8th class. So from there itself, when I represented my state in the first time in the national, there was something in my back of my mind that I should have to one time in my life go to represent my nation. And from there itself, there was this stance in my mind that I have to do it. And when fortunately I got it through NCC in the YP camp, then that was the proudest moment I could ever say, because that's totally different feeling. You are representing your nation, you are representing as a youth ambassador of the nation, so you have to be in a more precise manner, you have to be in a totally new personality, because you can't do false things which you do in your nation, or it doesn't has to be there even in your personality. So as you represent yourself at a different platform, you develop in a whole new person. So that is one of the things which you have to showcase yourself. And wearing that India flag, so it totally comes up from within. now you are not only as a normal cadet, but you are representing a whole NCC of your nation at a different platform. So yeah, that is a great moment of pride for me, and I was totally filled with patriotism at that period of time when we represented and when we landed at Bangladesh. That was totally a different thing.
So you've become an inspiration, like because you have attained such a position, and you got a chance to wear that badge at such a young age. Because many cadets, not even cadets, but also the people who are aspiring to be a part of armed forces, it's a dream for all of us to wear that badge. And thank you again, sir, for being an inspiration for us. And so my next question is that it's a situation. If you could go back past in time, so is there any moment that you want to relive?
Okay, so firstly I would like to say in that thing is I won't like to go back in time, because realistically that's not possible.
Yeah, it's not.
But if we talk about the situation itself, so it's on my thinking that that was one of the things which I lived. And if you go in further in time, you may definitely live more great things in your life. So that is with me. I aspire to go into a great things of my life. I would love to go into a new thrilling adventure thing. So I won't love to go back. Just I would like to live with the flow and live the things which are going with me. So I won't think that I should go back in time and just relive those moments, because these are some of the things which I have lived once. And there is normal saying that if you go through any of the experience in your life and that becomes memorable for a period of time, but you relive it again and again, and then that doesn't becomes the memorable things, that becomes the part of your life. And definitely at a period of time you forget those things. So it has become a cherishable thing for me that has stayed in that period of time. And definitely I would love to take it as in a single shot, and would have to take it in a further in my life.
Okay, so as a cadet, I've experienced a slight improvement in my personality, and you have achieved such a position. So what according to you is the difference between Cadet Abhi Jain and Senior Under Officer Abhi Jain? Like, what's the personality difference between the two?
Okay, so that's a really hard question for me, because totally a different person can tell me that how I have changed. But talking about myself, I would say yeah, there has been a lot more change in myself, in my personality itself, because prior to RDC, prior to NCC itself, I will talk, I wasn't that confident enough to speak about as I'm speaking now. So I wasn't that good in my communication also. So I worked upon it a lot, and after NCC and after YP, I can say I have changed a lot in myself. The confidence which I have, the communication way I talk, the manners, the etiquette. You go through that procedure, you learn a lot from the personalities which are there in your environment, the officers which are there. So definitely you learn a lot from them, and that thing you try to inculcate in your personality too. So that was the thing with me. I even gone through the process, explored a lot more new things, and the way things counter to me, I try to gain the best out of from it. And that I see that this is one of the great thing which I explored in my procedure of RDC and YP and through the whole journey. That in prior times I wasn't that conscious about the thing. Yeah, if I am going through a process, I should look the other aspects too, apart from the thing which I am focusing on. But now I can say that I take a look over all the things which goes in my surrounding. I have that intuition that I should not only be focused about the things which I am doing, but even have a look over the things which are going on in my surrounding. So yeah, definitely that's a total change I can say in that kind of an aspect. Talking about the other things, so yeah, you develop physically, you develop mentally, and that's how you grow up. So yeah, that was the thing which I found in myself that changed a bit.
Yeah, I can see that being a leader, you can sense it while I'm sitting here and seeing your personality. I can understand that being a senior under officer, it changed a lot. And that's it. And thank you, sir, for sharing your wonderful experiences with us. And it was an inspiring talk and fun session with you. But moving on further, is there any advice or message you want to give to your upcoming future cadets?
Okay, so the advice which I would like to give is that just be focused to your things which you are doing. And since in my process of my time, I just explored the things which came into way and learn from them itself. So if you have the opportunity, if you have your background, then definitely that's the plus point for you. And if you have that thing, then make the best use of it. And if you don't have it, there isn't any setback for you, because you can learn. And if it's been said by my parents itself that कि तुम्हारे ऊपर पैसा खर्च किया जा रहा है तो इसीलिए किया जा रहा है कि तुम पढ़ो, है ना, कॉलेज में पढ़ रहे हो, स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हो, तो यू लर्न and you grow from there itself and you explore from that environment. So that's the only thing, because I wasn't even having that kind of thing. And from my exploration itself, from the journey which I took on, I learned from there itself. So the only thing which I would like to say is that just learn and grow and explore a lot more things which you can in your life, and just go with the flow itself. So that is the thing.
Absolutely, and I hope that we all will aspire more success in future and become great leaders like you. And cadets will be motivated by your journey, and not only cadets but also the people who will be watching and who will be aspiring more success, who will be aspiring in the armed forces. So thank you, sir, again.
Thank you, Dhara, for inviting me once again, and it's been a great talking to you. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.